Alright y'all, welcome back to the channel and to some more turkey patterning. And today we've got a combination that is definitely going to be an interesting test here. I suppose that it could do pretty decently, but to be honest with you, I don't have the most amount of confidence in its ability to perform. But it's a combination that we haven't tried yet, so we just don't know until we try it. So for the shell I've got out here today, I brought out these guys again. The Hevi-Shot Hevi-Metal Turkey loads. These are a 12 gauge, 3.5 inch, 1.5 ounce of Bismuth number 4s, going about 1450, so the box is claiming. And these shells have not done all that amazing so far. They've been much more akin to a waterfowl pattern than anything else. So I don't have the highest of hopes for how they're going to do today, but I guess we don't know until we test it. So for the setup I've got out here today, I brought out the Mossberg 835 Ulti-Mag again, but for a choke, I threw in this guy. This is the Kicks Gobblin Thunder 680 constriction. We've tried it through the stock 710 turkey choke that the gun came with, as well as an Indian Creek 675, and neither one of those have shown us any kind of impressive results. So I don't know, maybe 680 is right where these want to be, but I have my doubts. But as for the test, everything is going to be the same as usual. I have the turkey target set up at 40 yards. I also have the chronograph, so we'll be able to see what kind of speed we're running and how close it is to what the box is claiming. So let's get you guys set up with the view of the target. I'll head up and take the shot through the chronograph. We'll take a peek at what chronograph number we had, and then we'll go down and see how they actually performed. So let's head over here and shoot them and see if maybe this is the right combination for this shell. Okay, so now we're up here looking at our chronograph, and it says we got 949 out of that shell, but that's very obviously wrong. It probably read the wad or something like that. It's definitely not correct. But I'll go back through the previous tests and I'll put the rough velocity up on the screen here of what it kind of should be moving, because we definitely did not have a weak load or anything out of this. So the chronograph definitely read wrong. But how did they actually shoot down range? Let's go down and take a look. Alright, so now we're down here at our 40-yard paper, and this is what we got. Now, maybe the shot might have been a touch left, but either way, I mean, we do have a dead bird. There is one in the brain there, and a couple more down through the body area, so he is dead. He would have been flopping, I'm sure, but you would have got that turkey. But looking at the overall pattern here, once again, not impressive. Now the core area, which is over here to the left a little bit, I do believe, it's definitely not great, but it's not the worst performance we've seen from this particular shell either. For what it's worth, this is probably the best performance we've seen out of that shell so far. And that's not saying a whole lot. There's really no question about it. That's not what I would call a good turkey pattern. Once again, it would probably make a decent waterfowl pattern, but definitely not a favorable turkey pattern, I wouldn't say. It just doesn't have an amazing core. It's quite a bit on the open side. I mean, if the bird's even close to another one, you're probably going to hit it as well. It's just not all that impressive looking. Would it do the job? I mean, if that core was centered up a little bit better, yeah, it would out to 40 yards, but it's not good overall here, which is a little bit disappointing for a shell that's set up like that. I mean, in a 3.5 inch shell, you're getting a lot of pellets, and for the recoil increase that you get, you would at least hope it'd be a little bit better. So kind of another disappointment, but it was kind of expected at the same time, I would say. Okay, and here's the wad out of that shell, and as you can see, it's definitely a little bit banged up. I think the porting through those Kicks chokes definitely scrape up these wads a little bit, because it's not really uncommon to see a wad that kind of looks similar to this after shooting it through one of those Kicks chokes. And there's definitely some pinholes through there. As you can see, the base definitely got a little bit of damage going on around it here, but there is nothing stuck down in there as far as pellets or buffer or anything like that. So I mean, it looks a little bit rough overall here, but it's not anything too uncharacteristic for a choke like that, I would say. So I wouldn't say there's anything too out of the ordinary on this one. Alright y'all, well, what did you think about that performance there? Like I mentioned a second ago, it's about what I expected, to be honest with you. Not great, that's for sure. It'd probably make a decent waterfowl load for some ducks, but that's really about it. It's definitely not a turkey shell that I would want to use. So at the end of the day, would it have gotten the job done? Yes, but it just doesn't seem to be a very good performing shell. But as usual, leave your thoughts in the comments. Is that about what you expected to see, or were you hoping or thinking it might be a little bit better? And if you've tested these shells, what kind of experience have you had with them? How well do they perform for you, and what kind of setups do you run them through? Leave all that down in the comments. But with that being said, I've got a bunch more testing to film for y'all, so I'm going to get back to it. As usual, we do have the channel Instagram as well as a mailbox where you can send stuff to the channel. So if you're interested in any of that, it will be in the description below for you. But I'm going to get back to it, so I'll see y'all in the next one.